Alrighty, we are looking at special right triangles. These are some of my favorite things to deal with triangles. So our objective for today is that we want to apply the properties of special right triangles to be able to find missing information in those triangles. So what is a special right triangle? That might be something that you're asking. Well, special right triangle is just a triangle that has like similar or common features that allow us to be able to use formulas. So it's basically saying, hey, somebody's established this already. We've got these formulas in place because they're these special right triangles, we can do these properties with them. So first one that we're going to be looking at here is a 45, 45, 90. And so it kind of looks like this picture right here. So we've got two angles that are 45 degrees, and then we've got one angle that's 90 degrees. Well, that means that these two sides here, we call those the legs of that right triangle. Those two are going to be congruent. The hypotenuse is just going to be one of those legs times the square root of 2. And so you can kind of come up here. And so I've already put the question mark in there, but it says apply the 45, 45, 90 triangle theorem to find the length of the leg of a triangle if the hypotenuse is 3 square root of 2. So we've got 3 square root of 2 is our hypotenuse. We're trying to find the leg. So as always, the first thing you want to do is identify what formula you need, and then you're going to put your information in. So 3 square root of 2 is equal to my leg times square root of 2. Well, to solve this for my leg, all I have to do is just divide by square root of 2 on both sides. When I do that, the square root of 2's cancel out on both sides there. And so now I'm just left with 3 is going to be equal to my leg. So now I can just say, hey, my leg is just going to be 3 feet. So it's that simple. Makes it so much easier to work with than having to use like trig functions to be able to find that information. All right. Let's jump on down here. So now we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to be given the hypotenuse, but now we want to find the leg. We're given the leg. We're trying to find the hypotenuse. So again, identify the formula. So hypotenuse is equal to leg times square root of 2. And so the leg is going to be 4 square root of 2. So we're going to do hypotenuse is equal to 4 square root of 2 times square root of 2. Well, to get rid of that square root of 2 times square root of 2, there's a couple of ways you can look at it. One, you could look at it like square root of 2 times 2, which is just square root of 4, which is just 2. You can look at it as square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 2 squared. And so now the square root and the square cancel out, leaving you with just 2. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it, but all I know is that this is going to come down and now be 2. And so it's going to be 4 times 2. Well, when I do that, I just get that my hypotenuse is going to be 4 times 2. So it's just 8 inches. And that's going to be that value there. All right. So now the next thing that we're going to need to look at here is we're going to look at a 30, 60, 90. So a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, when we look at that, is that you've got a 30-degree angle and a 60-degree angle. Well, the side that's across from the 30-degree angle, we're going to just say that that's S. That's our short side. The side that's across from the 60-degree angle, that right here is going to be square root of 3S. That's our long side. And then, as always, the side that's opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, there's two formulas for it. One is that the long side is going to be just your short leg times square root of 3. The hypotenuse, that side, is going to be equal to the short leg times 2. So that one's super easy. So on this, again, identify the formula. So we've got the long leg that we're trying to find. We've got a short leg that we have. So that's what we're going to use. So we're going to say that the long leg is equal to your short leg times square root of 3. Well, the short leg is just 6 centimeters. So we just plug 6 in, and that actually is just going to be our answer. We can leave our answer just like that right there. If you needed a decimal, plug it into your calculator and get that. All right, next one here, we've got that we're trying to find the short leg, and we have the hypotenuse. So we're going to use that one right there. So our hypotenuse is equal to your short times 2. So when we look at this, hypotenuse is 4. Our short leg is here times 2. So if we just divide each side by 2, we're going to get 4 divided by 2. So we get that the short leg is just going to be equal to 2 inches. And that's all you got to do for that. Now, this last one here, when we have this is actually what we call like an identity triangle. And so this one is super easy. We've got the long leg is square root of 3, and we're trying to find the short leg. And so if we just divide by square root of 3, we'd get that the short is 1.